Welcome to episode 3, season 1 of the Mata-Nui Weekly. I am Kugi, your host for the evening, afternoon, or early morning breakfast side podcasting. Now, we are coming to you from Lake Coro mostly this time around. Unfortunately, we did have some delays. So, this is going to be either 1 or 2 podcasts itself put together. We'll see how time runs. So, jumping right into the thick of things, and we're just going to be using some brevity today. Our players of the week, we have Snoop Lion, Kythus, and Tyler Durden. So, Snoop Lion has been doing an excellent job in Lake Coro, governing as well as revealing all sorts of great stuff, such as the Rama Riders. Nui Ramen, we can ride insects. Yeah! I've been trying to get that for months. Awesome that we now have a player faction that will be doing that instead of a single character anomaly. Also, for Snoop Lion, can I just say he does an excellent Kongu? He may not be using as much tree speak as I personally would like to see, but Kongu is very interesting in the hands of this player. Look forward to seeing what he does, I really do. Now on to Kythus. Kythus is a great player. He's very friendly. He's always looking for some way to get involved. He's got a new Koro. We have a new Koro, a 7th Koro, or is it an 8th if Palo Koro still sort of exists in the political spectrum, so I'm going to call it the 8th. Our 8th Koro is Ihu Koro. It's up on the top of Mount Ihu, and if I'm pronouncing that wrong and it should be pronounced Ihu, oh well. Ihu Koro is a second reincarnation. The first inhabitants were completely wiped out. However, this second reincarnation has moved there and has started mining a very precious ore known as Rena ore. This ore is a gold-like substance that is sharper than protosteel and harder. It's more durable, but it is susceptible to heat. So if you want to have an edge in combat, go up to Ihu Koro and pay for your blades to be edged in Rena ore. It is still used the same way as normal iron by a Fei Toa. Finally, we have Tyler Durden. He will also be mentioned in the character section, but Tyler Durden is a great guy in general. He's a long-standing BZP RPG player. He's in all sorts of different places on the site, but for the RPG itself, he's a very influential player. He's always got something to say. He's always involved in the staff plot. He was very involved in getting the Paraka dished out to different players. His job as a Kirihali, controlling Gakoro, excellent job there. He's sort of been hiding out lately, I've noticed, in Gakoro, so I'm wondering if maybe there's something coming and we should be looking at that, or if perhaps that's the magic trick and he really wants us to look at Gakoro while something else somewhere else is happening that's even bigger. It's a very interesting thought, but I'm going to leave that for your own interest and thought. If you have some thoughts about any of this stuff going on, please feel free to put a comment below. Alright, moving on to characters of the week. Our characters of the week are Dorian Shaddix, Larrikin Torchbearer, and Arjun, a somewhat new character. Dorian Shaddix, I mean really, where can we start with Dorian Shaddix? He did give up his scarf, so that's a pretty big plot twist. I thought he was going to keep that thing forever. Who knows, maybe it will still come back to him as a sash, or a headband, or a sarong that's sort of saride, I don't know. But Dorian Shaddix is an amazing character. He's had a huge amount of development through staff plot the past 2 seasons, ever since the reboot of the island. He's been a very influential player and character. If I say player when I'm speaking of Dorian Shaddix, pretend I'm saying character, because he's so influential into game plot, I sometimes equate him simply as a player. He's also, of course, a man's man, ladies' man, person about town, Toa about town. Dorian Shaddix is the it-and-all of Pretty Boy, besides possibly Grok, but Grok is more narcissistic and punny than Dorian. So, Dorian definitely is on our characters of the week list. Our second character of the week is Larrikin Torchbearer, an absolute crazy fanatic for a god that supposedly brings you back to life and gives you immortality. So, I am actually in the Akrayan cult myself with the character. It's an awesome experience. And Larrikin Torchbearer is one of the greatest crazies I think I've ever met, because he's not crazy. He's very conscious about what he's doing. and he's very focused on specific points. And I think that's the greatest way to show a socio or a psychopath, is the fact that they're not crazy to themselves. Everything they do makes logical sense. And that's why Larrikin Torchbearer is an excellent character of the week. Our third character of the week is Arjun. He's a rather new Toa, but he's an excellent one. Very well written, and you really got to just go read him for yourself. He's in Lewahi, so you've probably read him already. But Arjun's a great guy. He was a shoot worker, still is a shoot worker, but he's going to be joining the Rama Riders with Alphon and Hazel very shortly in the near future, most likely. And there's not too much to say about him as a character, except for the fact that he's just a very interesting one to watch and see how he interacts with others.
In Pauahi, we have Rain, the Haukara reforming, Nit Akiru taking amnesiacs back to Onukoro, Akiri Huki having a moment of insecurity and helplessness at the grave of Turaga Onewa, and a defector of Akrayan finding companions for a possible revenge. In Kauahi, we have a game of chess going on. Savina is finally leaving with her boyfriend in tow from the Kokoro Gates. The Red Star group is on standby, and Ihukuro has become active. Their main export, a rare metal substance known as Rena ore. Commissions may be made for edging your blades by visiting the Koro on Mount Ihu's crown. In Onuwahi, the Ussery is preparing for military response to the odd disappearance of travelers, as well as setting up a squad for escorting Akiri Nupero to the Akiri summit. Akrayan has been converting captives at a serious rate, their numbers growing significantly in a matter of few days. Members of Akrayan are currently trying to buy Stralix powder from the Akiru at Akiru Forge. In Gawahi, there's lots of stagnation. However, the paladins continue to train and learn about their elemental powers, and the Polzen Company is nearly sabotaged by a vortex mercenary named Nika Drain. The Desaka are marching south from Tawahi to Gawahi, and there is a fabulous memory there. Go read it now. In Tawahi, the interrogation of Akreen by Akiri Jailer has begun. The secretive Onu Matoran woman of many names and faces hires Tarpo as a spy. The Paraka seem to be making landfall, and yet they have not made land yet. A new inn has opened up in Takoro, the Burning Hearth. Go get drunk! Lewahi, a musical competition is announced. Arjun, Alphon, and several other beings meet at the Bright Star Inn. It's a really good conversation, so go read it. Josky and Co. also arrive at the Bright Star Inn. Dorian has a complete mental breakdown, and then is taken to the Temple of Faith in Leikoro. The two are still in contemplative talking, though broken by the shocking discovery of Amage's appointment as Vizier of Kokoro. Go read Dorian's breakdown, if you have not already. The ILF is met with some unexpected recruits. Jin disguised as another woman, a smiling grok, and a vortex covered in a dark cloak who is actually Stracolix from the Invincible's crew. The BZP time, folks, does not work in any sort of other paradigm. Don't even try to explain it with a TARDIS or a time turner or bunnies that are white and fluffy. It won't work. Varric was found and brought into the basement of the lighthouse by a mysterious Onulesterin who is so far unnamed. Letting Varric have a Kanohi Quelsi, he then presented the Toa of Sand to his ragtag group of cannibal refugees, calling for a welcoming party. Argan, a brutish man, stepped up to the plate and attacked Varric with the intent to butcher. Outside the lighthouse, the Invincible is joined in the waters by the Infernavica, settling down on a public deal of 10% prize earnings for the pirates and 30% for killing Stracolix. Irara allows them to aid in the dive expedition. However, the dive is temporarily cancelled to get back Varric. Before they can enter the lighthouse, a rogue Toa of Earth named Kavala boards the pirate ship and begins a ferocious sea battle. Kordo escapes and steals himself away to the mainland in a lifeboat after regaining his Haga cannon and taking 3 days and 3 nights to get there for no reason whatsoever. To distract Kavala, Irara plunges into the sea and uses her powers of crystal to set the saline water against him. It works, and the Infernavica stops its tilt into the sea. A sailor from another vessel happens upon the ocean brawl and joins the pirates and marines after being offered a stable deck aboard Lokar's ship and probably something for his kitten, Qualsi.